The real ghost history of Rainham. Today I am going to tell you about the real ghost history of Rainham. Rainham is an old town in England with a long history. For hundreds of years, people have told stories about ghosts, strange sights, and spooky events. Many of these stories come from the quiet marshes, old roads, and ancient buildings around the area. One of the most famous ghost stories in Rainham is about a man called Christopher Bloor. Christopher Bloor was a real person who lived many years ago. Local stories say that he had relationships with many married women. The angry husbands became very upset and wanted revenge. According to the legend, they caught him and cut off his head. After his death, people said they saw his ghost. The story says that late at night a ghostly carriage would race down Berengrave Lane. The horses pulling the carriage had no heads. The coachman had no head. Even Christopher Bloor was headless. He sat inside the carriage carrying his own head under his arm. People believed the ghost carriage traveled between his house and the local church. Many villagers were too frightened to go near the road after dark. Another famous ghost story from Rainham is about a spirit called the headless spinner. People said that a ghostly woman appeared near Queen Court. She would sit quietly and spin thread. Strange thing was, she had no head. Old villagers believed that if anyone stared at her for too long, something terrible would happen. Because of this, people hurried past the area at night and tried not to look around. The marshes around Rainham also helped create many ghost stories. Years ago, the marshes were lonely and covered with thick fog. There were no streetlights, very few people around. At night, strange sounds came from the birds and animals living in the wetlands. Sometimes people saw lights in the mist or shadows moving in the darkness. Because they could not explain what they saw, many believed ghosts were wandering through the marshes. Another place connected with ghost stories is Rainham Hall. Rainham Hall is a large old house built nearly 300 years ago. Over the years, some visitors have reported hearing footsteps when nobody was there. Others felt as if someone was watching them. One story says that a former owner loved the house so much that his spirit never left. Even today, some people believe the building is haunted. There are also stories about strange figures appearing inside old homes around Rainham. Some people claimed they saw ghostly people standing in empty rooms. Others heard sounds with no clear cause. Of course, there is no proof that these ghosts are real. Many of the stories may have started because people were frightened by the dark marshes, bad weather, or old buildings making unusual noises. But ghost stories have always been part of Rainham's history. The area has been home to people for thousands of years. There are old churches, ancient roads, and historic buildings everywhere. Places with long histories often collect legends and mysteries over time. Today, many visitors come to Rainham to enjoy nature, history, and the beautiful marshes. Yet the old ghost stories are still remembered. Some people still talk about the headless carriage of Christopher Bloor. Others remember the story of the headless spinner. Many enjoy hearing tales about haunted houses and strange events from the past. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, these stories are an important part of Rainham's local history. They have been shared from one generation to the next for hundreds of years. And that is the real ghost history of Rainham, a place where history, mystery, and local legends come together to create some of England's most interesting ghost stories.